This is a copyrighted audiobook production of Music, Silence, and Noise, authored by Mohammed Saad Riaz. All rights reserved.
Music, Silence, and Noise. Chapter 1. Listen. Sit. Be still. And listen. Because you're drunk. And we're at the edge of the roof. Rumi. In September 2013, I listened to an interview featuring Dr. Bernie Krause on National Public Radio of America's program TED Radio Hour. Krause is a soundscape ecologist who has spent thousands of hours recording in wild habitats in different parts of the world. He coined the term biophony to express the music of the collective sounds generated by all the living organisms in their natural habitats. In his collaboration with the English composer Richard Blackford, the BBC National Orchestra of Wales produced a music album, The Great Animal Orchestra, Symphony for Orchestra and Wild Soundscapes. While writing this book, I am also listening to Krause's work. These sounds are not just random. They are all connected, trying to tell us something. It teleports me to the wild natural habitat if I listen even closer. It is telling me the happening of events as they unfold in the natural sonic world. These sounds are not only expressions, but also connections and a measure of well-being. Melodious odes of birds, sonic nuances of reptiles, humping of chest-beating gorillas, stridulating crickets, rattling snakes, low growling elephants, whistling whales, and chorusing frogs. This is all nature's music. Krause also tells a heartbreaking story of spadefoot toads. They gather in large numbers around pools where they croak in pulsating synchronicity with one another. One of the reasons that they harmonize is to protect themselves. Their synchronicity, Krause tells, makes it difficult for predators like foxes or owls to come near and prey off any one of them. However, when a Navy jet flies overhead, its shrill, loud sound masks the chorus of the toads and takes them out of sync. Krause says that it took the frogs 45 whole minutes to regain their synchronicity. And in the meanwhile, he also saw a great horned owl preying off a few of them. Such disturbances had been one of the reasons for the diminishing frog population. This story made me think of the numerous human voices going unheard because of our limited range of hearing. We can only appreciate their value if we listen closely. How many times do we disturb the structures of serenity around us? How many sounds do we think are random? But they are not. Every life has its unique signature. The belching of a gorilla sounds different from the chirping of a bird. Your voice is very different from mine. Our feelings, thoughts, and views are frequency niches, just like various musical instruments that operate within a given range in an orchestra. Our abilities and temperaments are the notation and design of a musical score. We are all astonishingly different. We are all unique. We are all important. You can only appreciate the subtleties of the environment and nuances of the changing emotions of people around you if you listen closely. Our own growth is profoundly rooted in a two-way communication, which involves more listening and less talking. When you are truly attentive, you signal respect for the needs of others. You start to enjoy the process of mutual growth instead of incuriously succumbing to the job at hand. A deep receptiveness necessary for coexistence fulfills the foundational needs of every human connection. Conversing with, talking, and listening to like-minded people is fairly effortless, but classrooms are different. There would hardly be such an amazingly diverse collection of people as in a classroom. A classroom is truly an incredible place. Think for a moment before you enter and disrupt the natural setting of your students in your classrooms. Listen to the sounds emanating from your classroom. Do listen closely. They're wild, loud, and overwhelming. More importantly, they're telling you something you'd probably do well to listen. Take this moment to appreciate and decode the sound of unfettered children, the myriad layers of screams, waves of laughter, cries, and choirs. I can actually relate it to frogs croaking around a pond in the deep, dark jungle. If left alone for some time, they will all start to croak symbiotically, akin to orchestrated harmony. They will find their balance because they know how to. This is nature's work. It is beautiful and effortless at the same time. Or, if I may say, these unattended children are like an orchestra right before their practice session who are busy testing all the different instruments ahead of the big day. They are redolent of potential skills that need to be polished. You cannot wait, but to enter the room, and in doing so, you unsettle the frogs even before they get a chance to harmonize. Look around and feel the ambient texture. Paper airplanes work in process. A gang of beleaguered, troubling backbenchers reluctantly wearing the school uniform. A deafening cacophony of a boys' choir singing that could be clearly heard through the corridors. Some of them are visibly perturbed by this mayhem, holding on to their frowns. Whereas, a few are sitting by the window looking outside. There is so much happening here. By entering their space, what have you added to this natural environment? Fear, compassion, or apathy? Hope or despondence? Anxiety or promise? You presume that you've caught their attention and ignore those thoughts you have callously interrupted them at. You can literally feel the ceaseless buzzing of the classroom, the gargantuan amount of energy that students possess, yearning to continue nature's glorious work. The music, the silence, and the noise are still trapped inside their tender minds. Now, you'll take out the baton, tap it on the podium, and engage them all in a harmonized symphony. Here, every instrument is different, but also important. The grooves of a drum, the chirpy sound of a piccolo, the low notes of a tuba, and the crashing cymbals. You are here to polish them and develop confidence in their uniqueness. And together, they can create great music.
If you appreciate the ideas presented in this audiobook, please share it with your friends and family. Also, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. This will help the author to monetize this production. Thank you for your token of appreciation.